Welcome to New Garden Road, where I share my love of gardening in a way that I hope will inspire, inform, and elevate your earthly self. Here's an interview with my dad. He's the biggest influence in my gardening life. We're going to discuss his roots in gardening, his first veggie garden, and we're also going to talk about recommendations for new gardeners. What do you feel like your roots in gardening are? Where did they begin? How did you start gardening?
I grew up in an orphanage in North Carolina. It was a self-sustaining orphanage, so we had everything from dairy cattle, milk cattle. We raised all the vegetables, did all the farming with the hay for the cattle and silos to feed them during the wintertime. And we all took turns in harvesting. And I was always amazed at picking green beans that you couldn't see the end of the road. But there were 300 kids there, plus the adults, so we grew everything there. All the vegetables, we had an apple orchard, watermelon patch, the whole thing. That's pretty much where it started. When I started college down in Louisiana, where I met your mom, her father was a real dedicated farmer. That wasn't his full-time job, but he had 100 peach trees. He got me started raising a small vegetable garden there. I dug up the row and planted things there, and then he critiqued me, so I learned from him to start with too. But I really got interested in doing it myself in Greensboro, North Carolina. I bought a Troy-built tiller, a 6-horsepower tiller in 1981. And I used that to prepare the garden and make the rows. It had the heller for attachment. We planted a little bit of everything there. I really got into it, and I've continued it throughout the years, even though we've relocated to several different areas, having lived in 7 states. I even tried gardening in Phoenix, Arizona, and we actually lived in Scottsdale. Mm-hmm. And that was a little bit harder because it's a dry country. 5 or 6 years ago, I took the Master Gardener course in Greensboro, North Carolina, for the Guilford County Master Gardener program, and I took that 2 years to truly learn, and I believe you could have taken it 10 years.
How do you characterize your favorite aspect or some of the benefits of gardening?
Well, the proof is in the pudding, and when you plant things and you harvest and you eat things, it seems to be better because you grew it yourself, and that's very satisfying. And sharing with others, because you always raise many more tomatoes than you'll ever eat. The best vegetables out there are the pass-along vegetables that you get from neighbors and friends. Being able to start from a seed and go all the way to the finished product is just a miracle in itself. I've watched many an hour of television programs. I've read an awful lot about it too. Probably have every book there is, including how to develop manure and use that in your garden. Also using the compost heap. It's a way to recycle and enrich the earth, and you use that each year in your garden. That's free stuff.
Kind of goes back to your self-sustaining, self-sufficient days in the orphanage.
Yes, because we recycle most everything mm-hmm. there. And for example, the corn stalks that we harvested the corn from, we cut them up, placed them in the silo, and jumped up and down on them because they had to be packed down. Probably the dirtiest job that we had there, mm-hmm. Other than cleaning out the pig pen, but that's all part of it too. I think that's just as important as anything else, is reusing and recycling and taking better care of the earth, because when you take better care of the earth, the earth's going to take better care of you.
So if you were to give advice or recommendations to people who were new to gardening, who were considering gardening, or even people who say, I've tried it and I just can't do it, I don't have a so-called green thumb, what kind of advice or recommendations would you have for people?
Just basic books, learning about what it's all about. I would watch the PBS network whatever location you're in. You'll find gardening programs usually on a Saturday that will teach you and inspire you. You'll learn it no matter where you live.
Anything else you want to say or add relative to your life experience around gardening and nature?
So when you get to be my age, I'm 78, you have to make sure you passed along the love of gardening and the benefits of it to your family. If you train and inspire people around you who are interested in gardening, then they will carry it on when you're not necessarily as in good a shape to be doing it as you once were.
Yeah, it kind of feels like with all of our technology and connections and social media and news and all those things that are bringing so much information to us so fast and furious, that something like gardening, the practice of slowing down and actually starting something from a seed and having to wait and tend to it, and eventually you get something that you can harvest and turn into food. It's such a grounding, enriching experience that kind of slows us down. It's almost like we need to unplug and get our hands in the soil.
Probably one of the most relaxing things I've ever done is digging in the dirt and gardening. The satisfaction of getting food out of it is important, but just the physical exercise and getting out in the sunshine instead of sitting in your recliner. It's also more fully satisfying, as I've said, when you share your veggies with your neighbors. Building a community, and that's all very, very important no matter which part of life you're in.
That really kind of points to like a broad benefit from vegetable gardening. Say you didn't cook, or you didn't really care for a lot of vegetables that greatly, but you liked being outside, you liked the act of gardening and the practice. That could extend into your community, into your family, into your friends, and you could donate food and do some good things that would really produce enrichment in other people's lives. You could inspire them through your work and through your energy and your dedication, and you could inform them a little bit better about where food can come from, how homegrown food can be or locally produced food can be, and potentially elevate their quality of life.
Yes.
If nothing else, through the connections that you make from one human to another through that practice. Thanks for taking the time to answer my questions and speak with me about your gardening past, present, and future. Thanks for watching. Leave me a question or comment below, and please subscribe.